Hey guys, it's Elizabeth from Elizabeth Books. I'm here today to do the Because Feelings Matter book tag. I was tagged by Echoes and I'll link her channel below. I love her and thank you so much for tagging me, and let's get into the video. Number one is, what book made you feel confident either about yourself or your life? I'm going to go with We Should Hang Out Sometime by Sundquist. This made me feel confident that I have a good relationship with my boyfriend, and that because it's about him like going through many different relationships, and I feel like I found one good guy that I didn't have to go through many different relationships to find. Two is, what book made you feel sympathetic or sympathize greatly with the character? I'm going to go with 13 Reasons Why by J Usher. I felt very sympathetic to the character Hannah in this book, who commits suicide. You learn why she did it through throughout the story, and it made me feel very sorry for her and her life and everything that went on, and it makes you think that maybe you don't mean to be mean to someone, but something you say could greatly affect them, so you should think before you speak. It might not mean anything to you, but it might mean a lot to them, and so I really sympathize greatly with the characters in this book. Number three is, what book made you feel anxious? I'm going to go with The Crown of Midnight by J Maas. The book kept me at the edge of my seat the whole time. It made me so anxious to find out what would happen to Selena, the main character. She just kept getting herself into situations, and I was so worried for her, and I just wanted everything to turn out okay for her, and so I was anxious the whole book to see what would happen. Number four is, what book made you feel annoyed? I'm going to go with Tahereh Mafi by Tahereh Mafi. I just didn't like the beginning of this book. I didn't like how Juliet, her journal, how she crossed out things, and I just didn't really like her as a character. But the more I read it, the more I got into the story. Number five is, what book made you feel disappointed? And I'm going to go with Isla and the Happily Ever After by Stephanie Perkins. Overall, I loved this book, but it just wasn't as good as the first and second book in the Anna and the French Kiss series, so I was kind of disappointed how this one was. I feel like it was too short, and we didn't really get to know that much about Isla compared to Anna and Lola in the previous books, so that was just a little disappointing for me. Number six is, what book made you feel confused? I'm going to go with 4 by Veronica Roth, not because the book was confusing. I'm just confused why they had to make it its own book. It's just short stories of Divergent told in 4's point of view. That it was really unnecessary. It didn't need to be a book. Confusing for me why it just couldn't have been at the back of the Divergent special edition or something. Some short stories of 4. 7 is, what book made you feel satisfied? And I'm going to go with Fangirl by Rainbow Rowell. This is just a satisfying, great contemporary read. I feel like it is one of my favorite contemporary books. It is so good. It's so well thought out. The characters are amazing. The storyline is great, and I already read this, and I even want to reread it again, even though I just read it a month ago, because it's that good. And finally, 8 is, what book made you feel like you could really relate to the main character? I'm going to go with Between Shades of Grey by Ruta Septizzi. I related to the main character a lot of how she felt about her family, and she just had a great love for her family and loved her brother and loved her mother so much, and that's how I feel about my family. They are the world to me, and they mean everything to me, and I love them so much, so that's how I feel like I relate to this main character. And yeah guys, that was the Because Feelings Matter book tag. I hope you guys do this tag and link it below for me to watch, and thank you guys so much for watching. Bye guys!